Hello, folks. Recently, I've been hearing, the left cry about whiteness and how they view whiteness as so terrible. That's right, Dr. Turley said the left was saying whiteness is a pandemic. Now, let us stop and take a moment to reflect on what the left means by whiteness. Now, you may recall last summer there was the big issue whereas the National Museum of African American History and Culture released a very, I would say, awkward and quite insulting racist post trying to basically equating civilization with whiteness, which I think would be very insulting to the minority communities. And let me read the old tweet. Okay, the National Museum of African American History and Culture wants to make you aware of certain signs of whiteness. Individualism, hard work, objectivity, the nuclear family, progress, respect for authority, delayed gratification, and more. So basically, let's flip this. So the left basically just called all non-white people lazy, stupid, backwards, criminals, and savages. That's a pretty big scope of insults there. Because you see, the left is really racist, trying to cloak it with a veneer of protection, if you want to say that, but actually they are bringing in racism and perpetuating racism and just trying to convince people they're not. So as you can see, this was really a terrible insult to all non-white people. So basically, are you telling me that in China, in Africa, in India, in South America, in no other country in the world, is there any such thing as working hard, being on time, studying, obeying the law? It's basically civilization. Basically, the left is saying all non-white people are uncivilized, which is pretty pathetic. Because, we have come so far in civilization, and, just because there are some groups here and there that may struggle with things that the left has caused them to struggle with, like, crime. The leftists have not tried to deal with crime. The leftists have not dealt with poverty. They have dealt with it all in the wrong ways, so these problems persist, and then they try to say it's a fault of the people themselves. It's a racial problem. No, it's a left-wing problem. If the left had been using their brains and actually trying to work to end many of these inequalities, this problem wouldn't be persisting. But you see, the left makes money out of the inequalities and out of their activism. And if the problems were solved, the left would make no more money, and they wouldn't vote for them because all the civilized, sensible people are voting for conservatives. So therefore, the left has a vested interest in keeping these conflicts and the poverty going. They do. So basically, the left themselves have just equated whiteness with our civilization, with families, education, schools, jobs, peaceful communities. They have just equated whiteness and civilization. So what they're really saying when they say whiteness is a pandemic, they're saying civilization is a pandemic. So basically they want to get rid of civilization. So in practical terms, that means that they would like to be the kings and absolute monarchs over a bunch of groveling, unsavage, unintelligible people who do not barely speak English, do not understand anything. They're just like serfs, slaves, servants, because that has to be the end of the left. They want to get rid of, obviously, individualism, hard work, objectivity. China, they are working hard to bring all these things in, and I'm sure other countries are as well. Progress? Really, they're saying that minorities are not progressive, do not want progress. Seriously, the left is just really bad, and they are trying to, like I said, really bring racism back hardcore, and like I said, we cannot stand for this. And the conservatives, for the most part, have not been defending everybody. And not only do we need to defend our civilization, but we also need to think out of the box. We need to fix problems. We have just been leaving everything up to the lazy, corrupt politicians for the last 100 years. And the lazy, corrupt politicians have, for the last 100 years, have done what lazy and corrupt politicians do: stuff their pockets, just do the basic, bare minimum to keep the wheels of the machine rolling so they don't get into too much trouble, and just try to bide their time till they get out of office and live off their riches. They're not trying to improve society. They're just trying to just wait out their terms and collect their money. And that is terrible. And we have not been holding them to account for decades, literally. So I just wanted to bring this up. The left, they see our civilization as a whole as whiteness, and they want to get rid of our civilization. I said, which means they want everyone to starve and suffer and die and fight and not be able to read, and it's just really a sad thing. They want us to go back to the caves. When we say the left is regressive, we are not kidding. They are totally regressive. They want us to go back to the caves where everything but grunting is considered racist. And everyone just go grunt, 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 and live in the caves. And then we are slaves. We just mine gold from diamonds to give to the leftists. And they just want to keep education and health care in their very, very exclusive little club. But see, they're so stupid. This is not going to work because the people are going to rebel. It's been throughout history. These leftists, their elitism and their superiority, their supremacy is so obvious and so telling that as it is really quite shocking. And we need to fight back, because basically they just think they are like the ultimate gods up on the Mount Olympus, and we should not even be allowed to read because we're just such peasants, we're so stupid, they want to destroy civilization. I say we all around the world, we have learned from each other. And we've adopted things. Every country has contributed to the great march of civilization over time. And it doesn't matter who discovers what first, because as long as we're willing to share it with each other and help make each other's lives better, it doesn't really matter who discovered the cure for polio, or who discovered, oil or gold, or, who plays classical music. It doesn't matter. The whole point is we need to try to share things and get along and help each other be the best we can be. And we've overcome a lot of things in this world. And we cannot allow the left to bring us back. But they're trying to. Their failed policies have kept down the minority communities, and instead of improving themselves, they want to tear civilization down to cover up for their bad ideas. But it's not happening. Absolutely not. So we are not going to allow them to tear down civilization under their thin, mentally twisted guise of anti-racism, because they have failed. They have failed to fix the problems, and now they want to burn it all down. That's what it amounts to. I am surprised the left didn't say that taking a bath is whiteness. That's how pathetic they are. They just want everybody to be running around in loincloths in caves and grunting. And that is what we have come to with the left. And that just shows what people are without God and without morals. They are not better than a savage. I said civilization is predicated on a set of beliefs, a set of morals, a set of ways of conduct. The left hates to have ways of conduct, of boundaries, of laws, of treating others equally. They hate that because they just want, they think freedom is, freedom to beat up whoever they want, freedom to grab whatever women they want to grab. And if you don't allow them to do that, you're against freedom. So, yes. So we have a serious problem with the decay in our culture brought on by the stupidity and failed policies of the left. And they are hurting everybody. I said they've hurt the minority communities the most. Whose communities have been burned down all summer? Who's been getting, last summer, who was getting killed and robbed and ruined? The exact communities they are pretending to protect. And we fear we're going to have more of the same this summer. So we need to think out of the box, stop depending on these stupid government officials and terrible leftists. They do not have our best interests at heart. They do not have anybody's best interest at heart. They are patriots of their pocket, and that's all the good they are. They're there to stuff their pockets with the taxpayer money and whatever else they can grab. So we have our work cut out for us, and it'll be quite a challenge. But the first step into recovery is acknowledging there is a problem. We have identified the problem, and now we can work to fix the problem. And with God's help, we will prevail. God bless, and let freedom ring.